Today, boys and girls, we're going to be taking a look at another Subohm tank, and this sucker's called the Gille, and it's made by a company called ARYMI, and they're a subsidiary of a company most of us probably already know called Tech. Cutting through all the baloney pony, this Gille tank right here, she produces good vapor, good flavor, and a smooth, restrictive lung hit. But the real kicker here is the price point, $16.99 for this tank. You heard it right, $16.99. That's for a tank with a unique feature, an extra glass tube, and 3 coil heads. Alrighty, so here's the packaging for this ARYMI Gille tank. Pop the lid, and inside we got our Gille tank along with an extra glass tube, some extra O-rings, extra cotton, and under here, what do we got? Oh, we got 2 extra coil heads. You also received this Gille informational pamphlet, a Gille coil priming instructional card, and 2 ARYMI vape bands. So here she is, ladies and gents, the ARYMI Gille tank. Now, a few specs for you. She's primarily made of food-grade stainless steel. She holds 3 mils of e-liquid. She's 22 millimeter in width, and she's 51 millimeter in height. She comes in 3 different color options, stainless steel like you guys see, white or black. On the side of the tank, she's got the ARYMI logo engraved. At the base, she's got a non-adjustable 510 pin. Threads are smooth. Also at the base, it says Gille, and it also says manufactured by Kanger. At the top, she's got a Delrin drip tip sleeve, which pops on like so. Press fits on there, and the bore is 7.5, about 8 millimeter up top, and it tapers down to about 6 millimeter down below. But yeah, check it out. This is the top cap, and you got these pinholes, 4 pinholes. You got your airflow down here. This is your main airflow. 4 slanted slots, and they're about 2.5 millimeter in diameter each. This is non-adjustable, so the airflow on this device, you cannot adjust it. Another cool feature about this device is it's got this spitback guard, and you got open space all around it, and that's so the vapor can escape and get to your mouth. But with the spitback guard, I've never had spitback once. So I'll brighten up the exposure so you guys can see this, but a top cap unscrews like so. The bottom of the top cap is what makes a connection with the top of your coil, okay? But on the inside, look at that. You got 2 slots on the outside. That's not your fill slots. I know that's what you're thinking. No, that's your airflow slots, so the airflow can escape up through those slots, up through here, through these slots, and then to your mouth. That's how it works. Next piece comes off like so, just like I showed you before. You got those airflow slots on the outside that go up, that travel up to your mouth, but in here, oh, this is the magic right here, in my opinion. Your coil sits in between, in the middle, and then you got those tubes right there. Those are your airflow tubes. Just like I showed you, you got these slanted slots, 2.5 millimeter slanted slots on the outside, 4 tubes, 4 airflow slots, and they hit the top of your vertical coil, which I'm going to show you. So check it out. In this kit, you receive 3 of these bad boys. You want to call them coil heads, you want to call them coil cartridges, whatever it is, it kicks ass. Now, does it give me the best flavor? No, it doesn't give me the best flavor off a Subohm tank, but it gives me really good flavor, and you can use these things over and over and over again. This one right here, I've been using for a month. Okay, look at that. You got your resistance wire right here, non-resistance, non-resistance. That's where the resistance wire is. That's what's going to be vaporizing the juice, giving you that vapor. These cartridges or coil heads come pre-installed with cotton. I've taken mine out. I've probably popped 2 or 3 different rolls in for the past 3 weeks, and it's been kicking ass, man. Haven't even gone to these 2. So here's a brand new coil head with the cotton already pre-installed, and let me show you how to insert this the right way. You got to make sure that the flat portion is at the top, and then the non-flat portion is at the bottom, because your resistance wire is right here. So you have your solder points, 1 solder point, 1 solder point. So non-resistance, non-resistance, resistance. Just make sure that this is at the top, the flat piece. Remember, flat at the top, round at the bottom. Next step, before you insert your coil, you want to fill this sucker up to that line that says max. Like I said, this thing holds 3 mils of e-liquid, and you want to fill it through that center hole. And she's filled up to that line, as you guys can see. Next step, I'm going to take the coil head. Remember, the flat side's got to be facing up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it through this section right here, and then I insert it through the center. Boom, falls right down into place. And once I screw this section in all the way, and then I screw this section in all the way, this part right here is going to be making a connection with that right there. The top portion of that coil head, the flat piece. Next step, pop 3 or 4 drops on the top of that coil head. And what that does is it primes the top. Gets it going. Screw this bad boy into this section. Make sure she's tight. So again, the bottom of this piece, the top cap, is making a connection with the top of the coil, and then that pushes the rest of the coil down here, and the non-resistance wire makes a connection down here. There's a closer look at that non-resistance wire, the bottom of the coil making a connection with the metal pin. Pop the Delrin drip tip sleeve on there, and we are ready to vape. But you know what? Before I go vape on the Gille tank, I want to show you how to rewick these coils, because it is essential you know how to do it. You're going to save a lot of money doing it. First, you want to cut a piece of cotton about as long as your index finger and about 15 millimeter in width. Next, twist one end, Insert the cotton, twist it a little bit to get it going up through there. Get my tweezers, pull that sucker through. All right, perfect. Cut it about there. Next step, and this is crucial, once you cut it, you want to pull it all the way through till it goes past the end. That way she can make a connection at the base. Cut the top. Fluff it out a little bit, make sure she's not in the way of this piece right here. You want to make a solid connection. And she's re-wicked and ready to be inserted, just like I showed you. So before I take you guys back to FaceTime and talk about the pros for this sucker, I want to go over some cons. Now I found 3 of them. One, and this is going to be a subjective con, but it doesn't have adjustable airflow. Like I said, subjective. To me, I like the airflow, but some of you guys may not like it. Second con, and this is also going to be a subjective one, but if you prefer to vape above 60 watts, you're probably not going to like this device because I noticed 65, 70 watts, the flavor starts to get muted. It just can't keep up on the wicking with anything over 60 watts. You know what? I take that back. You can't vapor above 65, 70 watts. I mean, you could do it pretty much with ease. Let me show you how to do it. Okay, I've got her vaping at 80 watts. That's right. With this 0.54 ohm coil in here. 80 watts on the Smart product, sub product. Here we go. Now, when I'm done taking a hit, I tilt it, and it feeds juice. Blip, 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 blip. When I see 3 or 4 drops go in there or bubbles bop up, I know I'm ready to go. And you get full-on flavor, and it's a warm to hot vape. But you can vapor at higher wattages. You just got to do it that way. Tilt it every time you take a hit. And the last con I found for this bad boy, and this is not going to be a subjective con. This is going to be a con, but this sucker gets hot. If you chain vape it 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, and you're vaping anywhere above 40 watts, 45 watts with these 0.5 ohm coil heads, it's going to get hot, man. And it's going to get hot up here. It doesn't get hot down here, so don't think it's going to boil your juice. No, it doesn't. And I tested it. I pulled the coil out after I vaped it, chain vaped it. It was hot to the touch up here, obviously, but down here, cool as a cucumber. That being said, if you are a chain vapor, you're not going to like this because, like I said, it's going to get hot on you. Now to the pros. Price point, $16.99 for this. For what you get is a flippin' steal. Coil heads perform good. I mean, you get good vapor, you get good flavor, and I love how you can pull the cotton out of each coil head, and you can pop new cotton in. You saw the one I used. I've been using the one in that close-ups for 1 month. Guarantee you I could keep going 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and just, periodically pull the cotton out, put new cotton in, and keep going. And what I love about this is it's easy to fill. This thing is just easy to use. So like right now, it's halfway full. All I gotta do to fill her up is unscrew the top cap. The coil's locked into place, not going anywhere. Fill her up, pop her back in, and I'm good to go. Leak resistant. I hardly had any leaking with this thing. The only time I've had leaking was when I over primed the coil. Even though this sucker does not have adjustable airflow, I get a smooth restrictive lung hit. I personally like it. It's comfortable. With this tank, I've had minimal to 0 spit back, and I tell you what, the only time I've had just a little bit of juice in my mouth is when I was vaping at higher wattages, and I tilted her, and I just tilted her for too long, and the juice just blip, 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 and I went to vapor, and I got a little bit of juice. Nothing to cry home about, but it's something that's got to be mentioned. Hardly any spit back. As you guys saw in the close-up, she's 510 drip tip compatible. Like I mentioned before, you receive an extra glass tube, so if you're to lose or break this one, you got another one to go to. Also, back to the 3 coils. You receive 3 coils with this. I mean, what other tanks do you receive 3 coils or coil heads for only $16.99? That blew my mind when I looked at the price point. I took a double tank. I was like, what? Build quality for this? Surprising. It's just as good as most other products that are $35, $40. No burrs, no scratches, no machine oil, 1 rinse, 1 wash. I was good to go. And last but not least, this sucker's been compatible with all my mods. Screw down flush, made a connection. Oh yeah. So all that being said, now on to the big question, the big answer of the day. Hey Rip, if you lost this sucker today, would you go out tomorrow and buy one? And the answer is I would. And let me tell you why. $16.99. That price point, it just, oh my gosh. Like I said, I had to do a double take when I saw it. Okay, I'll post a link down in the description to the site that's selling this thing. Good vapor, good flavor, gets the job done. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.